Hello TikTokers, I'm Black Bright News, but I will be starting a channel called the Christian Relationship Counsellor very shortly on YouTube. But for now, I wanted to respond to a lady who said that she cannot express her feelings to her narcissist husband or partner. And she actually didn't just say to her partner, she said you just cannot express your feelings to a narcissist. Now what I was wondering was, what kind of feelings did she want to express? Were they feelings of anger? Were they feelings of disappointment? Did she want to express feelings of regret, neglect? What kind of feelings did she want to express, and why did she feel that she couldn't express them to her narcissist partner? I would think that if you can't express feelings to your narcissist, it's because he's not interested. He's only interested if it matters to him. So what you would have to do, you would have to ensure that your feelings, the feelings you want to express, has his interest at heart as well. So say, for example, the feelings you want to express is resentment. You resent your partner because he hasn't been doing what he's meant to be doing. So you're holding up these feelings of resentment. You're trying to tell him, and he's just not listening, or he's talking about himself again, and so you're feeling frustrated. So what you would have to do in that situation, just my humble opinion, is that you'd have to work it so that your feelings will affect him. Ideally, when narcissists are in a relationship, they really want to be happy, but they also want you to serve them. So if by not listening or not allowing you to express your feelings, they are not going to be served, then maybe they will pay attention. This isn't like an ultimatum. This is just like a discussion. You can simply say, well, look, if you don't want to hear how I'm feeling, this is what will happen. This is what I'm feeling. This is what I intend to do. So that the narcissist realizes that your actions as a result of him not listening to your feelings have a detrimental outcome for him. So that is my suggestion. I wrote down some notes here. Subscriber said you cannot express your feelings to a narcissist, and I felt her pain when she said that. It's amazing how you can pick up the spirit of the word when you are reading it. And I put here, it's so easy to feel love for someone who expresses themselves in the same way you do. So if when he expresses himself to you, and you are very compassionate and, thoughtful and considerate, and you find that he's not doing the same for you, that's where the resentment comes in. But how easy is it to love someone who is lovable? Very easy. If we all loved people who were lovable, then what would the challenge be? Because God said even the pagans do that. So you would need to accept these challenges, that life is not going to be the way you always want it to be. Your partner is not always going to be kind and loving. And you'll remember that Stephen, even when they were stoning him, he was praying for them. They stoned him to death, and yet he prayed for them and asked God to forgive them. So if you consider that every time a narcissist hurts you, betrays you, insults you, criticizes you, judges you, takes advantage of you, manipulates you, if you think of those as stones, they're stoning you to death, and you pray for your narcissist, pray that these stones will stop. Pray that this narcissist will look back into himself and realize that the behavior just isn't conducive to a happy relationship. Ultimately, everyone wants to live a happy relationship. So I've put here, how do you want your narcissist to react? When you've expressed your feelings, how do you want him to react? And like I said, is it in his interest? And how can you make it in his interest? The Bible says we must love those who hurt us. How do we do that? If a narcissist is not acknowledging your feelings, how does that make you feel? It makes you feel unloved. It makes you feel unsupported and uncared for. It hurts, especially when we listen and show that we care. And because it hurts, you may not communicate how you really feel effectively. You may be emotional, bitter and angry. And you might be saying, my narcissist, you can't express how you feel to a narcissist. That's probably because you've built it up over a period of time and you're now feeling resentful and angry. And the narcissist just isn't interested. They're not interested in that kind of communication. They're interested in friendly, warm, loving communication. So you're not going to get the response if you've built it all up and you're angry and disappointed. So wait until you're calm. Wait until you've forgiven the behaviour, whatever it is upsetting you, because once you forgive behaviour, you can feel lighthearted. But when you hold it in and you feel frustrated and angry and anxious and irritated, that can raise your blood pressure, it can create stress, and you get depression, and it's just not healthy. So if you can manage to forgive their selfish and arrogant behaviour, you will feel a sense of acceptance, and that will help you to communicate better. So if you don't forgive, resentment and anger will increase your stress, like I said. God forgave us, so we need to forgive the narcissist for not fulfilling our needs. We all want our needs met, as I continually say. But if your needs are not being met, you have to kind of ask yourself, how can I get my needs met other than by the narcissist, who's not going to meet them unless it's in his interest to do so? You will find some narcissists, they'll meet your needs if they want something, if they, it's a kind of a manipulative tactic. But for the most part, they want their own needs to be met. So I've got here Stephen in Acts, I've already said that. Acts 7:59-60, Stephen forgave and prayed for those who stoned him to death. So I mentioned that. Taking advantage, taking us for granted, using us, manipulating us, taking from us, may feel as though we're being stoned to death by the narcissist, but we need to pray that they will realise how damaging their behaviour is and modify their behaviour for the better. That might be wishful thinking. I still strongly believe that narcissists can change their behaviour if they want to. You see, God gave us all free will. So you can't change a narcissist by shouting and telling them what to do and being angry and, all those kind of things that normally work with normal people. That's not going to work with a narcissist. So you have to kind of try a different tactic. So there has to be a moment where they have to look at themselves and realise that their behaviour is destructive. And that usually means when it comes to an end, you've had enough. You've had enough of them taking the pee. You've had enough of them taking you for granted. You've had enough of them exploiting you. And so now you've decided, look, I've had enough. I'm leaving, or he's going. And here I've put, forgive them, Lord, for they know not what they do. A lot of times narcissists do not know that they are causing you. Well, they do know that they are causing you upset and pain, but really they're more thinking about themselves. And because they think that they're the ones that are entitled, their interest is more important than yours. So, yes, so it's good to say that prayer. Lord, forgive them because they know not what they do. God's Spirit will enable you to show love even when your narcissist partner causes you pain. It can be resolved. Change the way you think and you will change the outcome. So a lot of times if you're doing things the same way with your partner and you're getting the same result, that is the reason. You need to change the way you think about things, change the way you behave, try to act with a smile, be loving, kind and true to yourself. And that's all I've got to say for now. I'm Black Bright, the Yeah.